Today we are going to learn the classical weaving. So I start with initially the weaving. Okay, what is weaving? Okay, weaving is actually when there is an object. Okay, we are being a human being, we interact with that object. Okay, so what basically we need is a light. Okay. Without light, it's very difficult for one to view that object. So what is the basic necessity is a light. So when you have a sufficient light in the room, you can view that specific object. Okay. So when I say the light, what extra thing you need to view something? So to view something, you need an object. Okay. So the basic entity is light, and secondly, you need a object. Okay, this is the one thing. So when I say you are viewing something, you are here and there is a object here. Object could be anything. It could be a table, a chair, a tree, a house, anything. Okay. Next, when I say I am viewing that specific object, I need to focus on that object. So when I say I am viewing that object, what exactly is happening? I am going to use the light, and those light will be reflected on that object, and they are reflected back on my eyes. Okay, this is what you can say is that weaving. Okay, next I will teach you regarding the classical weaving. Okay. So basically when I say the weaving, it is same as something is capturing. For example, you are using your mobile and you are capturing something. So even that is a weaving, because there is a recorder that recording something. Probably here also in the class there is a imparter that is recording everything what is running here. Okay. So when I say the classical weaving, I should consider the object and the surface. So probably when I say the object, there is a object here, there is a object plane, and there is a camera. You can say when I say with respect to computer graphics, there is a camera. Or you can say if there is a human being, there is an eye to capture that. Or there is a computer camera. Okay, or there is a camera that views this object. Okay, so whenever I give the object, what I need this as one object and this as one plane. Okay, where it is, all the objects will be reflected here. Okay, next, there is a camera. Now, the object will be reflecting on the plane, and same object is being picturized on the object plane. Okay, next, this is the view of the camera. You can see. Now you can see here there is a camera. Okay, and these are the projection lines. Projection lines. So this is one projection line, this is second projection line. So now you can see these projections line are meeting one point called as COP, that is center of projection. When I say with respect to eye, it is human eye, you can say it as the camera or the human eye center. Or when I consider the camera, it is center of camera where the COP point meets, that is center of projection. Okay, and this is a plane. Okay, now you can see the object is probably, if I consider the object is of 10 sides. Okay, and the plane is, if I move this plane towards the object size will become larger. And as and how I keep this moving this plane towards the camera, the object size will get reduced. because this angle will be like this actually. I will draw the correct figure. Okay, if this is an object, this will be projected this way. Okay, the way, if the plane is here, the object size is this much. And if the object plane, if I keep here and I take the same projection on the plane, the object size will be reduced. In the sense, the direction of projection will meet the center of projection, that is COP. Okay, or you can center of projection. Okay, COP or center of projection, where these 2 points meet the projection lines. Those who are parallel to each other will meet at point called as COP. Okay. Okay, so probably when I consider the object, what I need, I should consider the object, I should consider the plane on which I'm going to draw that object. So in classical weaving, what is considered is different principal spaces. Okay, now if I consider a building, okay, for example, I'll take a building as one example. So on building, okay, if I consider one building, probably if I can draw some kind of building, okay, this is what I can say as one building. Roughly I'm drawing. Here there are a window, this is a door. Okay, when I consider this is a building, this is one object. Now I can consider these objects in different ways, or I can say this object has different faces. I can now depict this picture with this as front face, okay, this as the top face, okay, this, okay, now this, if I am standing this way and the building is here and I am standing side to the building, okay, either side of the building, I can say I am standing at right, and I can view this right side of a building. And if I am standing that side, I can say I am just checking, or I am going to follow the left side of the building. Okay. If I am in the ground floor, or you can say the bottom floor, I can see the ground level, or I can say the bottom view. Okay, this is the way in which I can view the object in different faces. Okay. I can teach you. Next is perspective projection. Okay, when I say the perspective projection, just now I taught you, when there is an object, this is an object, and you can say there is a projection plane, and here it is COP. So what I can do is, I draw the respective projection lines with respect to 4 corners. Okay, I'll take here, okay, I have to draw the straight lines, because the projection lines will be always straight. Okay, I draw like this. I take all 4 sides. So probably if I draw the object, okay, I'll draw a cube, which is, okay, so probably even if I draw this way, no problem. I'll take this side, I'll take this side, and I take this. So probably I could draw, yeah, I could draw this object on the object plane, because the projection lines, these are the projection lines, they are reflected on projection plane. Okay, same is going to be meeting one point. That point can be said as COP, that is center of projection. Okay, next. So this is a projection plane. This again, these are the projection lines, and ultimately this is, you can say, COP. It's this side is camera. Okay, now you can say, as now already discussed, if I move this projection plane towards the object, the size or image which is reflected or constructed on this projection plane will be bigger. As and how I take this plane towards the COP, the size of the object which is picturized on the plane will be reduced. Its size will keep on reduced because they are meeting at one point. Here there is a diminution of a size. Okay, it will be getting reduced. Okay, so this is what you can say as perspective projection. Even you can take one example. Okay, if I am standing here, okay, if I can see this tree, I can easily view the tree. If I like to view something which is apart from me, definitely I won't be able to see it clearly. Okay, as and when the distance between the camera and the object keep on increasing, the size of the object will keep on reducing. Next. Okay, these projection lines meet at point called as center of projection, that is COP. Next. Okay, this is corresponding to the center of the center lens in the camera or in the eye, or you can say it as the origin of a camera frame, or you can say it as origin of camera frame. Fine. Okay. Okay, now what we learned is perspective projection. There is one more kind of projection that I can say as parallel projection, where these projections lines will take the direction of DOP, that is direction of projection. So those kind of projections are called as orthographic projections or parallel projections. So I will next start with parallel projection, where, okay, I'll draw initially the diagram. So this is the object, this is the projection plane, and these are the projection lines. I can say this way. Yeah, fine, this is fine. Okay, object is drawn. Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, these are the projection lines. Now, the projection lines, they will not be meeting each other. Okay, you can see this as the object. This is object. This is the projection plane. Okay, this is projection plane, and this is a reflection of this object on the projection plane. I am going to maintain these parallel lines will always be the parallel line, and they are not going to meet each other at certain distance. Whereas in the previous case, in the perspective view, they usually used to meet a point called as COP. But here, these two parallel lines, okay, they are not going to meet at one position. They are going to be parallel, remain parallel infinitely. Okay, so this kind of projection is called as parallel projection. Okay, as both these lines will be maintained parallelly with each other, okay, the size of the object will remain same throughout any distance. Okay, this is the advantage of parallel projection. Whereas in the perspective projection, as we move apart from the object, in the sense we are moving apart from the camera and the object size in the camera will be keep on reducing. Okay, but whereas in the parallel projection, throughout any distance, the size of object will remain same. So these are the projection lines. Okay, as you can see, both the lines are parallel to each other, and they will take the direction of projection. So hence they are called as direction of projection, or in short it is called as DOP. Now I can say the COP line, or the center of projection, moves infinitely, COP to infinity, CO2 to infinity, that becomes DOP, that is direction of projection. I can say one more point. When I say the views with finite COP is called or termed as perspective view. Fine. Views with, or I can write completely, views with infinite views with COP at infinity are called as parallel view, because the COP is not meeting, in the sense that both the parallel lines are not meeting each other. Okay, they will be kept on parallel basis and they will be taking the direction of projection. So here it is our parallel views, and here it is the perspective view. Next, the class of projections generated, or you can say the produced by these system is known as planar geometric projection. Because projection surface is plane and the projections are line. And projectors are lines, or you can say, because you can say these are either parallel lines or they are meeting at one point. They are lines, and the object or the projection plane what we have, it is a plane. Okay, that's why these are called as planar geometric projections. Okay. Next, Or in the exam, they may ask you what you mean by planar geometric projections. Okay, as the object is plane and the lines which are projected are or the projection are lines. Okay, that's why they are called as geometric projections, planar geometric projections. Next is orthographic projection. Okay, consider this as one object. Orthographic projection. You have one more topic. This is an object, or you can say this as a plane. Okay, all views are parallel, so the object will be prepared the same way it is. So probably this is how the object is prepared. Okay, somewhat like this. So every corner is meeting here the same way. One second, I'll draw properly. Projection lines are initial right. Projection or projection lines are parallel. Okay, that's why it is called as orthographic projection. Okay, if I draw the projection plane here, I'll draw this way. Okay, see here, all projection lines are parallel to each other. Okay, so they are orthogonal to the projection plane. The lines or the projection lines, what comes out of this object, okay, because of light, okay, they are orthogonal to your projection plane. That's why this is called as orthographic projection. I can say one more topic as multi-view orthographic projection. Okay, now as I earlier taught you, if I consider the object as one building, for example, consider this duster as itself as a building. If I consider this duster as a building, if I am standing this way, okay, I can see the front face, okay, and if I am standing at the right side, I can view the right face. If I am standing on other building and if I want to view the top view, I can view the top view, and if I am standing this side, left side, I can view the left side. Or if I am standing behind the building, I can see the different views of the building depending upon the position where I am standing. Or if I am standing at the bottom, I can see the bottom face. Okay, so when I consider the views or multi-view orthographic projection, there are different views they are considered, that is the top view, okay, or the front view, right view or left view, or some different views. Okay, one more property of orthographic projection is that there is no distortion of either distance or shape, okay, because there is no attenuation in the size, because the lines will be parallel and they are not meeting at one point called as a COP, okay, the size will remain same. So there is no attenuation, so no distortion of either distance or shape. So probably we use this orthographic projection for in the drawing applications. So when I consider, just now I taught you this. there are different multi-view orthographic projections. Okay, if I just now I consider this is a front view, I can say this is a front view, and if I consider, okay, this way, this is the top orthographic projection, I can say that the same thing can be obtained on the projection plane, and I could even, yeah, I can orient, I can teach you this in the next. So these orthographic projections can be used in the architectural applications, okay, like CAD, okay, computer aided design. Okay, next one is axonometric views, where you consider the object with respect to its different orientation. So I'll take axonometric projection. Okay. Here the projections are still orthographic. Next, sorry, orthogonal. They are orthogonal to the projection plane. And but one thing is different, defines the axonometric is projection plane on which you get the object plotted or printed can have any orientation. In the sense, I can orient this projection plane the way in which I want to place. So I must orient my projection plane. For example, I can draw you one. I can say I'm just orienting the projection plane with respect to my object. So if I consider this as my object, and if I consider my projection plane as here, placed here, okay, I can say my object is being pitched this way. Okay, see here. This is object, okay, and this is the object plane. Okay, this is how it is placed. This is the object and this is the object plane. Now the object plane is oriented here. Okay, oriented here. So in the other case, I can take this object plane, I can orient here as per my wish. Or I can change the orientation of this object plane this way also. Even I can take, for example, okay, this is placed this way, right? I can place this way. Now the object plane is this way. So probably this object could be obtained in this format. In this format. Because it is oriented here. Okay, the orientation is changed of the object plane with respect to the object here. Or I can place the same object on top of, sorry, I can place this object plane on top of this object here. Directly I'll take these things. Okay, so object plane is like this. So there is an orientation change of the object plane with respect to the object. So such views I can say as axonometric projection. Okay, there is what the projection plane is keep on changing or keep on oriented with respect to the object given. This is the object and these are the projection planes oriented at different places. Okay. Okay, so you can say the top view, this is a side view and this is oriented different way. Okay. Now I can say on one plane, okay, if I take the projection plane, on that plane, if I consider the multiple views, if I consider this as my object and there is a projection plane, this is a projection plane. Okay, now if I consider, if anybody view this object, he can only view the front face, right? Okay, if I consider in the axonometric view, if I rotate this object this way, now you tell me, now how many faces you can view? Now multiple faces can be viewed on axonometric views. Okay, now see here, I am just placing this object, now you can see, now even this portion could be visible and this portion could be visible. So, if this is the condition on the projection plane, because it is going to capture this side as well as this side. So, this you can say as a diametric view. Okay, it is one type of axonometric views, okay, or axonometric projections, okay, where you can capture multiple views at the same time on the what? Object, this one, object plane. Okay, on the object plane, you are going to consider multiple faces of the same object on object plane. So this view is called as diametric. Now, if I say I'm just keeping this object this way, now just see there is the object, light change. Now you can see this face as well as the top face, right? So now one can view three faces of the object, the top view, the side view and this side view. So three faces can be obtained on object plane. So in this situation I can say as a trimetric view because three parallel views can be seen immediately at the same time. Okay, so this is anaxometric views. Now one more type is there, isometric. Okay, when I say the trimetric, see there is one more isometric view type in the axonometric views. As I said you, this is the diametric because you can see multiple faces at the same time. If I say the trimetric, it is three-sided, 1, 2, 3. But there is one more view, isometric view, where you have the three face sides are equally seen to you. Whereas in the trimetric, probably if I say the trimetric in the sense, see, probably if I keep this way, see here, this is a diametric, understood? This is one face and two face can be viewed. Trimetric is three faces. I can keep my object this way. Now you can see this, this and this. But when I say the trimetric, yeah, this. Okay, if I say trimetric, even I can place my object this way. Still you can see this face, the top face and the side face. But you can view this side very clearly or then that of this face. If I say the isometric, the object is placed in a correct way so that both these side views are correctly in the angle and can be viewed correctly the same way this is appeared, this side is also appeared and the top side is also properly appeared. Okay, so the dimension of both the sides and top sides are maintained here in the isometric, but whereas in the trimetric the dimension is not maintained. Probably I can place this way. This view is very less, whereas this view is very big, or the dimension of this view is very big and the dimension of this view is very small. Okay, so in the trimetric you are not bothered about the dimension, whereas in the isometric view you are aware of the dimension. All the dimension with respect to object and its faces equally maintained. That is isometric. Understood? Okay, next is oblique projection. Okay, oblique projections are still orthographic projections, but the difference is the projectors making the orbit angle with the projection plane. Now these projectors are the projection lines. What is projectors? Are actually the projection lines. These projection lines making arbitrary angle with the projection plane. So the projection lines are using different angles with respect to the projection plane. Okay, so I can draw you the diagram, then only you will understand. Okay, for example, if I consider this as a object, okay, I'll place the projection plane here at top. Okay, now when I keep my projection plane at top, exactly above the object, okay, the projection plane, now see here, the projection or the projectors will be like this way and this way. Okay, the four projection lines are exactly on top of projection plane. Okay, the projectors will be on the projection plane exactly above this object. Okay, now I can move these projector lines, okay, this way. Now assume the straight projection lines what you had here in the initial case will be diverted this way, or they take different angles. So probably the angle could be now, how much the angle it is? Here it is a initially 90 degree. I will move here probably 75 degree, or I will move here probably 50 degree, or I will move here, it's a 45 degree. So now with respect to my object, the projection plane, okay, will be moving with respect to different projection lines or projection lines, different angles. Here it was 90 degree, here it is 75 degree, here it is 50 degree, here it is a 30 degree. Understood? So 90, 75, 50, 35, 30 and so on. So I keep on having a movement in the change of angle of the projection lines. Understood? Initially it was 90 degree, I take a 75, I take a 50, I take 35 and so on. So this is what it says, the projectors making arbitrary angle with the projection plane. So projection plane keep on changing its angle. So exactly not the projection plane, the projection lines are changing its angle. Okay. Okay, this is all about the orthographic wave and its different types. Now I start with the actual perspective weaving. Okay, see here. All perspective weaving can be categorized or can be characterized by diminution of the size. What I can say, it is characterized by diminution, or I can say it's a reduction in the size. I can say it's a reduction in the size. Okay, reduction of the object. Okay, as you know, there is a camera, or you can say there is a COP. Okay, there is an object plane, there is an object. So here, as it moves towards COP, okay, the size will keep on reducing. That is what perspective weaving is. Initially, the object is very big. I'll draw proper diagram here so that you will understand once again. This is the object, and this is the projection plane, and this is what I can say the camera. See here, the object is okay. As this is the object, okay, as and how I keep on moving my projection plane, there is the diminution of object on the projection plane. Okay, as and when I move my projection plane towards the actual object, the size of object will keep on increasing. As and how I take towards the camera or center of projection, the size of the object will keep on reducing. Okay, so this is the fact here. Next, so where basically we use this perspective weaving, we use it in the architectural application, and in you might be watching cartoons, right? So that you can say it as animation. So in these two industries, okay, the perspective weaving is being used. Okay, so you can say this is a camera, or here is a weaver. He is symmetrically, okay, he is located symmetrically with respect to the projection plane, okay, as shown here in this figure. This is what you can say as perspective weaving. Okay, again you can have different perspective weaving. So I can 3 points. So initially I can say, okay, more clearly I can tell you. There is again different types in perspective weaving: 1 point, 2 point, 3 point. So I can tell you first one is 3 point, 2 point. Okay, I'll write here 3 point where three-point perspective. Here I can say parallel lines in each of the in each of the three principal faces parallel lines in each of the three principal direction convergence. Convergence to a finite vanishing point. Two-point, second and two-point perspective, where you have parallel lines in each of the two principal faces convergence to a finite vanishing point. So one more is one-point perspective, parallel lines in each of the principal direction, convergence or meet to a finite vanishing point. So same here. Each of the one principle. Okay, so I can say, okay, when I say the three-point perspective weaving, it says the parallel lines in each of the three principal directions convergence in the sense they will meet to a finite vanishing point. Okay. Secondly, I have two-point perspective where the parallel lines in each of the two principal direction faces. Only two faces will be considered. So when I say the three-point perspective, three faces are considered. When I say the two-point perspective, only two faces will be considered. So parallel lines in each of the two principal direction converge to a finite vanishing point. Why it is finite? Because perspective weaving is finite. The weave is finite. When I say orthogonal projection, the weave is infinite. Because the direction of projection will, the COP will be direction of projection. They will not be meeting each other. So they will be infinite. Whereas when I say the perspective weaving, it is finite. Okay, they will be limited. They are going to meet at certain point. So when I say the two-point perspective, the parallel lines in each of the two principal directions meet to a finite vanishing point. So when I have one-point perspective where parallel lines in each of the one principal direction meet at a finite point. So generally I can say, if I say this as a 3-point, okay, three directional faces in the sense this is one direction, this is one direction, this is one direction. If I say or look, they are meeting at one point, you can say this as one point. Where it is meeting? Okay, I am standing this exactly in front of this way. Okay, this is three view. This view, and top view. They are meeting at one single point. It is finite point, right? Or you cannot say this point is somewhere at the end. This is the finite point. It is not an infinite, right? Okay, these all three directions are meeting at one point. Okay, all three. So this you can say as 3-point perspective view. Secondly, you have one more 2-point perspective view. So 2-point in the sense, I am not considering the top view. I am going to consider only two side waves, this side, this side. So when I am considering these two sides, they are meeting at this corner. Even this is the finite point, right? Okay, this side, if I consider, they are meeting at one finite point. This is 2-point perspective view. Okay, when I say the single perspective point of view, that is the last one point perspective, I consider object in this way because I'm going to refer only one side. Only one side of the object is considered. Okay, or one face of the object is being considered. So only this point is being considered. So they are meeting at one point. Okay, so this whole, if I consider as one point, this as I'm going to consider in the one point only one face. So they are going to meet at one point. This is the 1-point perspective. 2 point, this way 2 point. This point, okay, this face, and they are meeting at this point, right? They are meeting at this point. So this is 2-point perspective. If I say the 3-point perspective, I need to consider 3 faces. This side, and top face. So when I say these 3 different faces, they are meeting at 1 point. Okay, so this is 3-point perspective. Understood? So these are different perspective viewing types. So in the next class, I'm going to teach the remaining topics. So what we learned today is parallel perspective, then parallel views and perspective views. Okay, parallel views are orthogonal to each other. They are not going to meet any point. At any point, they are not going to meet each other. They take the direction of projection. So they are called as direction of projection. Whereas in the perspective viewing, they meet at one point called as COP. So it is a finite. Whereas in the other part, in the parallel projection, they are DOP. Okay. So now I can tell you people to mention the difference between parallel projection and perspective projection. Okay, list out the difference between parallel and perspective projection. Okay, just go through these things and try to understand the differences between these two. Okay, so next class I will take the different parts which need to be covered next. So how you are going to actually grab the object with respect to your, okay, as we are going to learn this computer graphics camera, how exactly camera works and how exactly it will capture the image into it. Once it is captured, how it will be transferred or transforms into different objects. As you know, there are different stages through which, or you might be learnt about the frames in OpenGL, right? As it go through the initial frame, okay, word frame to last, it will get converted into the pixels, right? So how that all transformation will take, model view matrix, projection matrix, okay, that all will be covered in the next class.